And now on to the wonderful Maze 4. So as you may know, in the last couple of days, there was a small rework in the way that Maze 4 works. You can no longer spam jumps as you could before. And this is both a good and a bad thing. On the bad side, it's harder to get a higher score. On the good side, it's more fair for everyone who can't spam with their 18 fingers. So as you can see here, there is a big change. We're going the bottom route for destruction and using Dark Enchantress and Lifesaver, the speed treasures, the treasure map, and ginseng as our relay. So what's interesting to note here is almost every single map in this, every single maze rather, in this Labyrinth event has shifted over to a destruction meta. Maze 1 is destruction, definitely. Maze 2 also became destruction with the bear jellies produced after destruction. Maze 3, also destruction. Maze 4, now destruction, and then Maze 5. I just posted a video on that. Also has like a theme of destruction. So I just find that interesting. In the beginning, only Maze 1 really had that feature. But anyway, talking about this, basically what we have is every time the cookie does 4 jumps, all the obstacles on the map are destroyed. Now, one thing I will point out right away is it's not exactly 4 jumps. Like if you spam it out too quickly, or if the game just doesn't like you at the given moment, the obstacles just won't get destroyed. Now I say that a little sarcastically, slightly not sarcastically also, because it's a little finicky. I've had some good runs ruined by the destruction ability just not activating, but sort of what I've gathered is it's not only about how many jumps you perform, it's also how high you are from the platform you land on. So if you are too low to the ground after your 4 jumps or whatever, and you land on the platform, it will not register that as destroying the obstacles. But anyway, that's just something to keep in mind. I think you would get a feel for it after you do a couple runs. But the general strategy here is a few things. So you definitely want to be destroying obstacles. I think that's pretty clear. As you can see, you get just under 500,000 points for every obstacle destroyed. That adds up enormously. Of course, Lifesaver will help you catch obstacles that you miss. And also, I'm not sure if this is important, but I, at least personally, like to keep in mind that Lifesaver needs to get his abilities out. We always want the energy from him. And he does stack, like his ability count, but I don't know if there's a cap to that stack. So anyway, just to make sure, sometimes I intentionally don't do the jump destruction ability, just to get Lifesaver to give us some energy. Another thing is that this run is pretty long, and because we're using both the speed treasures, we actually get really far. And as you'll see with ginseng, one of the big sort of goals of this combi is also to get far enough in the map that you actually get to an additional big potion that you would not get to otherwise. I shall point that out when we get there, but in the meantime, some other small tips for this run. We never want to be breaking the turbo shield. Now, I'm not sure when turbo shield was changed as a treasure. Not turbo shield, but the turbo boost treasure. It gives a shield every X number of seconds. Before, it was fine to just break the shield. It didn't affect anything in the run. But now, when the turbo does have the shield activated, it actually gives you 500,000 points every 6 seconds, I believe. So when you break the shield, you do lose millions of points. And for this in particular, it's never worth doing any extra jumps or colliding into obstacles in general to break the shield. So that's something you want to keep in mind. You're free to break the shield from the skill tree though, that you get every 40 jumps. It does save you a couple times, and it just lets you be a little more bold with your jumps at times. So I think that's a good thing. Another sort of thing is you don't want to be overzealous with your using the jumping ability. The goal here, remember, is to destroy obstacles, not to get the ability out. So for example, when you are in giant mode and you can break obstacles like that, you don't need to spam jumps just to destroy obstacles. Sometimes, of course, you still want to jump for the extra points extra jump points. But just keep in mind that the goal here is to destroy obstacles and not really to jump. That said, I'm going to contradict myself. You do want to get a good number of jumps in, because near the end, it's sort of tight getting to stage 15. We do get to stage 15 with this combi if you jump sort of well throughout the run. It's not incredibly tight, but if you are sort of relaxing for a few moments here and there, you might miss it, and it's a pretty important stage to get for the extra energy, of course. And here you may think that Dark Enchantress is about to die, but no, she comes back from nearly the dead, grabs 4 potions, the potion from the stage 13 completion, she gets another ability out, and basically she gains 1 billion energy. Oh, and there was the treasure map energy. So we still got a little ways to go with her. Lifesaver is gonna keep her going, this ability is gonna keep her going, but you know, inevitably Dark Enchantress is gonna die soon. Here you want to be grabbing jellies. They don't really do that, but you can't have them all. Now we are pretty much nearing the end of Dark Enchantress's run, just getting a few last jumps in, and then Ginseng will take over. So I end Dark Enchantress's run with about 780 million. That's a pretty good score, actually. But seeing that the SSS requirement for this maze is like 200 million points below what I end up getting here, you don't really have to go like that precise here. And even like that said, I do make a lot of mistakes. Like there's easily 50 million points to gain here on top of this run. But unless the meta changes again, I think I'll be sticking to this score. So now that we're in Ginseng's part, there's one additional consideration with him. So every sort of like a mini ability that he activates counts down towards his like slam, and the slam gives you sort of like 3 or 4 seconds of immunity, and that's really helpful. It gives both fall immunity and destruction immunity, and that just lets you jump more comfortably without worrying about falling in holes or colliding unnecessarily. So we are ending Ginseng's first sort of half. You want to end around here, and the reason you want to end around here and not earlier is because at the end, getting the last potion will be quite tight. And in one of my other runs, I sort of messed up some jumping and you know, died a little earlier and missed the potion. So you don't do that. And here's sort of where I was talking about letting Lifesaver grab some obstacles. Over here, I intentionally don't do a lot of like jumping to destroy obstacles, because I knew that it would be tight and I want him to get all his abilities out before the potion. But now that we're past the potion, the next checkpoint to be looking at is the jump mini quest. So we're at 480 out of 500. You see, it's sort of tight, sort of not tight. You have like a couple of seconds of leeway, and probably like actually more than that, because there's all these mini potions over here. But you know, just keep an eye on the meter. Make sure it's kind of close to 500 by the time you're reaching the end of Ginseng's run. And from here on out, it's really just jumping, destroying obstacles, grabbing all the jellies you can. And here I sort of mess up a little bit. Now he gets a final slam in because Lifesaver gives some energy. But if I jumped a little slower, Lifesaver could have potentially gotten the next obstacle and gone a few like seconds of the run in. But 1.135 billion. I hope this helped you, and thank you very much for watching.